The self is not something ready-made, but something in continuous formation through choice of action. John Dewey. Across centuries, cultures, and continents, one thread weaves through the heart of all profound philosophies, a radical doubt in the existence of the self. From the mystical insights of ancient Buddhism to the sharp analyses of existentialism in the West, thinkers have arrived again and again at an unsettling truth. The I we cling to is not real. It's a performance, a learned illusion, a mask stitched together by habit, language, and social necessity. We are trained from infancy to see ourselves as a unified entity, this body, this brain, this name, and to draw a clear boundary between me and not me. We imagine that everything that makes us who we are lives inside the skull, contained neatly within the borders of our skin. Yet this identity, this ego, is not something we're born with. A baby doesn't recognize itself in the mirror. It must be taught. Through repetition and confirmation, it learns to say, "That is me." But just as the identity is slowly learned, it can also be unlearned. To unravel the illusion of selfhood is to walk the path of many great spiritual and philosophical traditions. Even in modern frameworks, from Lacanian psychoanalysis to post-structuralist theory, we're told the same thing, that the centered, coherent self is an invention, a narrative we construct, not a truth we inhabit. British Zen practitioner Douglas Harding offered a curious thought experiment that confronts this illusion head-on. It's disarmingly simple and slightly absurd, which is exactly why it works. Start by pointing at something in front of you, a wall, a chair, a tree. Observe it, its form, its color, its texture, then point to the floor beneath your feet. Now to your own bodies, your foot, your chest, the rise and fall of your breath. All of these have shape, color, substance. Now point toward the place you are looking from to the space behind your own eyes. What do you see? If you're honest, the answer is nothing. No shape, no color, no movement, no mouth, no eyes, no face, just openness. A transparent field through which everything else appears. Harding called this seeing who you really are. And who you really are, at least from this perspective, is not a person, but a presence. Not a thing, but an emptiness through which things pass. You are not the seen, but the seeing. Of course, the mind objects. But I can see myself in the mirror. Cameras capture me. I know what I look like. That same objection was voiced 1,000 years ago by Tung-shan, a young Buddhist monk. While others chanted sutras proclaiming that we have no eyes, no ears, no nose, he felt his face and protested, "But I have all of those. Why would Buddha say otherwise?" His teacher could not answer, so Tung-shan went on a long journey of discovery. Years later, gazing into a pool of water, he had his revelation. He realized the face he saw in the reflection had always belonged over there, at a distance, not where his conscious experience truly lived. He discovered what Harding called transparency, the selfless self at the center of being. These insights are not confined to spiritual traditions. Modern science, too, has begun to echo the same theme. Neuroscientist Anil Seth has argued that our sense of self is a prediction, a controlled hallucination generated by the brain. We assemble fragmented data from our senses and mold it into the smooth, continuous fiction we call me. Jean-Paul Sartre, the existentialist philosopher, reached a similar conclusion through radically different means. In The Transcendence of the Ego, he argued that consciousness is transparent. It has no content of its own. It exists only as awareness of something else. It is not a container, not a stage with a spotlighted ego sitting at its center. Rather, the ego is a construction, a mental object, among other objects. It is an effect of consciousness, not the cause of it. What we call self is a story told by the mind to bring order to chaos. And yet, when we turn the light of awareness back upon itself, when we try to locate the narrator, there is no one there. There is only the act of seeing, only the world appearing. If the self is not real, if we are simply empty awareness wrapped in habit and memory, then what are we left with? Freedom, but not the comforting kind. Sartre called it a curse. we are condemned to be free, he wrote. For if there is no fixed self, then there is nothing to hide behind, no nature to blame, no destiny to lean on. There is only the blank slate of consciousness upon which we must carve our own meaning. This is both terrifying and liberating. Terrifying because it means there is no script. Liberating because it means we are the authors of our lives. So when you point your finger back at yourself and really look, you may find nothing at all, but within that nothingness lies the potential for everything. A spaciousness in which all experiences arise, a boundless awareness untouched by names, stories, or forms. And perhaps in that silence, you may hear the echo of an ancient truth, that the self you've been chasing was never missing, because it was never there. If this exploration stirred something within you, consider subscribing for more reflections on consciousness, freedom, and the philosophies that have shaped human thought for millennia. There's still so much more to uncover.